Today, we launched the app finally, and after about a year of development. And we're going to do like a little interview, and then I'm going to go into a demonstration, maybe take some questions and do some answers and some greetings. I don't know how many of you guys got our email and is going to show up today, but I'm really looking forward to meeting you and getting this off on the right foot.
Wow, it feels good to be here.
It does. It
This
feels
this is
great.
this has been in the works for such a long time. I saw you sweat and put in the hours for this. I'm excited about it.
I'm extremely excited. It's been a long time coming. Honestly, sometimes it felt like it was never actually going to happen. It felt like we set these dates and these milestones, and sometimes we never met them. I mean, things come up. Things typically don't really happen on our schedule, and sometimes it's hard to be patient and keep the larger goal in mind and keep plugging away at it until we get there. But we made it.
You saw the big picture and you kept the vision in your head and you're persistent. And that's one thing I admire about you, your persistence. You don't quit. You keep pushing forward. And here you are now at your launch date and the product is already in move. Now, I've asked you this before, but I definitely want to ask again for the audience. And I want to know, what made you come up with the idea of Contractor Plus, because you've had a lot of incredible ideas over the years. You've done a lot of amazing things over the years. But I've seen that this particular idea, you pushed the hardest. You put it to the forefront of everything. What made you come up with it in the first place?
So back in like 2007, 2006, I graduated from college in Orlando. And in 2007, I started working at a real estate company. And the company was real small. It only managed about 15 properties. It was called Reed Organization, Reed Rental Management. And over the preceding 6 months or so, I went from a web developer to operations manager, and we started scaling up that business significantly. And we went from 15 properties under management to almost 800 in about 2.5, 3 years. Now, in that process, throughout that whole time, we were subbing out all the maintenance. So every time there was a work order that a tenant had a leaking faucet or something wrong with their HVAC unit or some issues with the carpet or whatever, every time there was an issue, that out to another contract. We had some good relationships with contractors, but the thing is it was a logistical nightmare. There was all kinds of problems with that, and plus we weren't making any money on the maintenance. And I realized, we're managing 750 plus condos and single family homes. This is a lot of maintenance. We're doing anywhere between 10 and 30 work orders a day, and our real estate investors are closing on properties every single week. And those properties need some maintenance. They need some work. So we called it a make ready. But, typically what would happen is I would send our foreman to go do an estimate at the property and determine how much work was needed. He would take some pictures and he would do an itemized estimate on paper. He would bring it back to the office, and Jacqueline, our bookkeeper, or myself would type it up in QuickBooks and then send it to the investor and get them to sign off on it. They would respond saying, yeah, go ahead. It's approved, or they wanted some changes. Usually they just improved it. We took it out of their escrow account, scheduled the work, and yada, yada, yada. So what I realized, though, is we were doing all this double work, all this double data entry that was so how can I streamline this in a way where we don't have to do all of this double work? I need to make an app where we can save time and just kill 3 birds with one stone. And that's kind of that. In the beginning, I called it Handyman Estimator, and it was just a closed little web-based app on a Windows tablet just for our internal processes. It never went anywhere but that.
Okay.
Over the years, I realized, wow, other people need this. And this was way before Joist and Jobber and House Call Pro and Service Titan, all of the competitors that are really making waves in the marketplace right now, even existed. And we probably should have done it. Instead, we were focused on building SEO software. But we finally made it happen. I mean, what I realized is these other competitors came to market and started offering, an estimating solution, an invoicing solution, and a payment solution. And that's the core of it. Now, Jobber does a little bit more than that. They're more of a full ERP for field service contractors. I will give them that. They have a very nice system. I can't say anything bad about any of the competitors, for real. They're all doing a great job. They've all been very successful. But I've noticed that they just don't really address the flow of most handyman contractors. Like, their estimator is still just very basic. It's just like add a line item, add a line item. There's nothing special about it. There's no built-in supply prices. There's nothing that really bridges that process flow, that gap. The way it works is you get a lead, you go work that lead, you do an estimate. If they hire you, that estimate becomes that lead becomes a client. So you convert the lead into a client. Then once they become a client, you can add properties under the client. Now, some clients may only own one property, and some clients may own hundreds of properties, like in the instance of where we manage the property management company. And when this happens, you add the properties, and then you got to go do estimates at the properties. So every time there's work to be done at the property, you have to go do an estimate. So you send the estimate to the client. Now, the benefit of Contractor Plus is, unlike the other solutions out there, your before pictures are right in line, right there in the estimate. So every single area, every single task, every single before photo is right there, all in one place. It's all in one PDF file. It's comprehensive. It has your logo at the top. It looks super professional. There's nothing like it. So the beauty of it is everything related to your business is in one central location. And so after the estimate's done, the client approves the estimate. Then you send them an invoice, so you can have it automatically send them an invoice. Once the estimate's approved, the estimate will automatically be converted to an invoice. Now, the client can pay the invoice via your own payment methods, where our competing solutions force you to use their own internal payment solution, like Joist payments or Jobber payments or whatever. Which all they're doing is they're integrating with, a third-party payment facilitator like WePay or Stripe, which is great. And we're going to do we do the same thing, but we give you the flexibility and the freedom to choose the payment facilitators that you want to use. So if you want your customers to be able to pay you with PayPal, they can do that. If you want to use authorize.net, they can do that.
Sounds like an all-inclusive system there.
Exactly. It is. It's an all-inclusive system. And so basically, we want you to be able to offer your customers everything that you want to offer your customers. I don't think that there should ever be a time when you can't run your business the way you want to run your business, period. So, if you work, every business works a little bit differently. Everybody has their own processes and their own way of doing things. And your software solution at the back office that you're running your business with needs to conform to the way you do things. It shouldn't necessarily force you to conform to the way it flows. And what I'm seeing in other platforms is that you pretty much have to adapt to the way they want you to do things or the way it was set up. And you don't really have much flexibility to make it work how you want it to work. So that's what made me, sorry, that was kind of a long-winded response, but that's kind of why I decided to create Contractor Plus.
Well, I think now that you have the launch going, are you going to do with investors or VCs? Because to expand the software in the company.
That's a good question. So venture capital firms come in like a late stage round. They typically would be for your Series A, Series B. They're later stage. VCs really don't take on a lot of risk typically, unless you're personal friends with them or you know them really well. They're not going to invest in a seed round, or it's very rare. They typically take less equity and bring more. They bring more to the table, a lot more capital. But they also demand a lot more control. It's a whole different ballgame when you start dealing with VCs. They control the board. Pretty much the board votes don't even matter anymore because you have to get everything approved by them anyway, which is a good thing. I'm all about accountability. I'm all about being accountable to somebody else. holding myself and my colleagues accountable. It's all about accountability, and that's why Contractor Plus has so many accountability systems built in it as well. So initially, yes, I've had a life savings that I put into this. You know, we have 8 full-time employees, and I've been bootstrapping it. We've been funding it ourselves for the last year, and we are in communication with several investors right now. Now, the difference is we won't be necessarily working with venture capital firms, VCs, right now. We would be talking to just seed investors, angel investors, basically. They typically come in an earlier stage where there's higher risk. Because we don't have the traction yet that a VC would expect. So there's higher risk, but potentially higher reward. But it's just a different type of investor. But yes, we are in communication with investors. We actually just partnered up with fundable.com and startups.com in Columbus, Ohio, to launch a seed round or pre-seed round, whatever you want to call it. We're launched, so it's a seed round. That's Reg D. And they're going to help us, revise our pitch deck, work with me in vetting the investors and work on my pitch and all of the things where I kind of fall short, which, I've read a lot of books about it, and I've been in business long enough to know pretty much what I'm doing. But I want to make sure that, it's not in vain. I'm not just out pitching hundreds of investors for nothing. My time is valuable. So, yes, we are working with investors. You there? Ian, I think I lost Ian. I think we lost Ian. Well, when he comes back, he comes back. So today I wanted to get into about, a little bit more about why we created the solution, which we just covered a little bit, but also,
I'm having a little bit of connection issue over here. It's like
it's okay. You're back.
Out, Justin. Give me 1 second.
You're back. I don't see your video, but you're back.
I think it's my connection.
What are you on? Wi-Fi? It shows 4 bars for you right now. I don't know. It's okay. So let's see. Let me go to the chat and see if there's any questions. Okay. Nothing yet. If you have any questions, be sure to post it in the chat. I think there might be a little bit of a delay because we're using restream.io. But I'm here to answer questions as well. So if you have any questions for me throughout this demonstration or whatever, please, if you just want to say hi, say hi. I'd love to meet you. First of all, thanks for downloading Contractor Plus. Thanks for giving us your time. Thanks for giving us your consideration. I think you're really going to like what we have to offer. I think you're going to like what we've created. And there are some features that are still in development, like the mileage log and the tool library. The tool library will be completed in our next build, which comes out in about a week and a half. But then that's something that I'll get into a little bit later. But we've created these proprietary Bluetooth tags. The lighting's kind of bad here. But these little tags right here, and they have a little quick code on them, and they're pretty cool because they're super low cost. The only thing that's existed like this in the past was with Ford Workforce and DeWalt. But of course, you have to use DeWalt tools, and you have to drive a Ford truck, and you have to upgrade the dash in the truck to use Workforce, which you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars just to track your DeWalt tools. But not all contractors use DeWalt tools, and DeWalt isn't going to have every single asset that you need to track. There's the equipment, air compressors. Well, they do make air compressors, but generators, you name it. Every asset, especially the higher value, the higher ticket items, like you need to track that stuff. And now the reason I created this, the reason I wanted to create this system is because when we started managing 750 plus properties, and we had a maintenance team of almost 40 workers full time, theft was an issue. Tools started coming up missing. Supplies started coming up missing. We had an air compressor grow legs one time. One time I had to fire I fired 30 guys just because someone took an air compressor, nobody wanted to admit who did it. And that was my way of figuring out who did it. And, that was a hard decision to make, but I realized that if something, we have technology, this is Bluetooth low energy. It has a battery in it that lasts 3 years. The thing costs $10. So, when you buy a pack of, 50 of them, you get them for about $10 a piece. You really can't beat it. You can attach it to your tools with a rivet. There's a little hole in it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can attach it to your equipment or your tools with a rivet, or you can use the smaller tag and you can just use a double-sided 3M sticky strip. And we even have a smaller tag than this, by the way. And then we have a bigger one as well, the S9, which has dual rivets. It's perfect for like larger equipment. It's IP rated, so it's good for outdoor, like your outdoor generators and stuff. And it has a 5-year battery life. So, and they're all low cost, around $10 a tag. So the beauty of it is you can put one of these nifty little Bluetooth tags on all of your tools. Now, if it's a smaller tool like tape measures, chalk lines, hammers, crowbars, whatever, smaller stuff screwdrivers, you're not going to put this on a screwdriver. The screwdriver costs $10. So why would you spend $10 to tag a $10 tool? But you can rivet one of these inside of your toolbox. And then you can list each tool that's inside of that box under one tag. So now the box is tagged and all of the tools inside of that box are attributed to this one tag. So you can do that. Now that makes sense. You might have $500 or $1,000 worth of tools in a single toolbox, and a $10 tag goes a long way to protecting a $1,000 investment. So the thing that I've noticed is treating tools like a library book, where your individual staff members, when you're managing 50 employees or 100 employees on big job sites and they're using some of your tools, you want to make sure you know where all of your tools are at all times. And you want to make sure that, if something does grow legs, you can pull it up at any time. You can just open it up on your computer or in the app, and you can look at the time and date stamp, the log, the history for every single tool. So, I can see who had it last, and that's who I go to. Where's it at? Because I don't have it. Well, I don't know. Well, you better find out. You're the one that had it last and never got checked in. So who's responsible for it? It's pretty simple. And then we send you a notice before the battery is done, finito, so to replace it. So that's a really cool feature that's coming in a couple weeks. I don't want to get too much into that because it is coming soon, but I know it's one of the things, like when I'm pitching Contractor Plus, talking to investors or talking to potential users, to our beta users, it's the one thing that raised a lot of eyebrows. I know a lot of people definitely are looking forward to this feature. I'm looking forward to it. It's so cool. You tag a tool, you scan the quick code, and then this tag, this little serial number there, is now associated with that tool or that tool set permanently. So, now your employees can check in and check out. You can assign tools to different employees. You can reassign tools. I mean, it's so powerful. So moving on from that, Ian, are you there? Are you back yet? Or did I lose you? Okay, well, Ian's gone. If he comes back, he comes back. But I do want to, get into the actual app and maybe take some questions. I see we've got 7 people watching right now. Hopefully that'll grow, as we start streaming daily and as we start executing our growth hack. So we're contacting about 1 million contractors over the next 30 days. And, our ads are going to be all over the internet. So we're growth, and, I'm hoping a lot of work into this. We made a lot of sacrifices in our personal lives. Our families are begging us to stop working and come be a normal contributing member of the family. It's really hard because there isn't enough time in the day. And, if we're not going to do it, who is? So yeah, there's that. So I do want to get into the demo of the app. If Ian joins us, if he rejoins us here in a little bit, then maybe he can finish asking his questions. Let me see here. if I can pull this up, I believe we are good to go. So let me share my screen. Share screen. Let's see here. Application window, a power monitor. Perfect. Now let's see if we can see it here. I don't see it yet. Let's see here. Chrome. There we go. Perfect. Unlock. Bear with me just a second here while I get this. There we go. I think we're good. Perfect. Now, there we go. And I got it. So if you can see the screen now, let me see here. I'll make this the focus. There we go. And so now we're going to open up the Contractor Plus app on Android. I have my iPhone here too. We might get into that. And here goes nothing. So this is the splash screen. And why does it appear stuck? Well, I'm not sure why that happened. I'll try it one more time. Then I might have to switch to iPhone and open up on the dev server. We might be moving some files to the live server currently, and it seems like it's not. Okay, let's try the dev server then. My apologies. If you guys are having issues opening the app right now, it's because we're migrating everything to a live server. We just launched this morning, so bear with us, and we will get it resolved quickly, I assure you. Okay, well, let's try this then. Okay. Okay, cool. So now, let's see how I can switch back. I might have to close this and reopen it. Let me see here. Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Okay. I'm just going to close. And I will be connected to the iPhone. I'm not an iPhone user, so forgive me if I'm not as fluent on an iPhone as I am an Android. It's weird. I use a MacBook, but when it comes to phones, I do not use iPhones. Let's see here. Okay, cool. We're connected now. All right, perfect. So now let me try the live app first and see if it works over here, or if we're having the same issue. Same issue, stuck at the splash screen. Well, let's see about the dev server then. We should be good on dev. Oh, wow. Apparently not. So I wasn't expecting that. Not sure what's going on. Let me talk to the dev team real fast. They said 2 minutes. Well, while we're waiting on the dev team to get this sorted, if you guys have any questions, ask away. I'm watching the chat right now. It says chat can't post messages to some destinations. Okay, so I don't know where all you are seeing it and where you're not, but if you see this and you have any questions for me, ask away. And we should have this resolved here shortly. So in the meantime, I'm going to mention we have a contest going. So I just put it on the screen right here. We're giving away 2 $500 gift cards. You get to pick Home Depot or Lowe's. And so we're doing that as a launch contest. I know it's not a lot, but it's something. If you can, go sign up for the contest. There's no purchase necessary to enter or win. So it's on the screen right now. It's contractorplus.app/contest. And all you got to do is follow us on social media. And we give you 3 entries, I believe. And if you like add us on YouTube or add us on Instagram or whatever, or share it with some friends, then you can get more chances to enter. So again, that's contractorplus.app/contest. And you can sign. That should be live now. So definitely go join the contest. I might mention that again a little bit later. We just started ads promoting that contest as well. So let's see here. Let's see what the dev team is saying. It seems like, okay, it's working now. So since it's working and I'm most familiar with Android, I'm going to switch back over to the Android app. And okay. And we are good to go. Now let me put this live here. Let me share my screen. A-Power monitor. Share. A-Power mirror, my bad. And I'm going to make this to focus. There we go. So now I'm going to open up Contractor Plus and we're going to get into this demonstration. Now, if you have any questions at all, while I'm going through this, just post it here. And as long as it comes through to the Restream dashboard, I'll respond to it. There might be like a minute and a half delay. No big deal. I'll respond as soon as I get it. So what you're looking at right here, I don't know if you can see that or not. I know it might be kind of small. Maybe make the video a little bit larger if you need to see. But what you're looking at right now is the main screen. After the app is open, we've got a to-do list at the top. So this is my to-dos. Now, to-dos and tasks are similar, but they're not the same. A to-do inside of Contractor Plus is more basic. It's like, this is just something that I have on my immediate to-do list. Like, I need to get this done today. So I'm just going to add it here. I don't have to add a lot of details about it. I can just say like, okay, like this is the default stuff that's in the app. We just put this by default. So every user will see this, add a logo and business information. This is all stuff that you need to do to get your Contractor Plus app set up, ideally. So, and then when you're done with that, you can just mark it as complete and you can check it off. So, when you mark that as complete, now you have a list of the things that you've completed. Now, if there was more than 3 here, then there would be a little button here that says, view all of my to-dos. But you can also see that right here. You can go from the main menu and go into the to-do list. Now, in every single feature inside of this app, we have built these little coach marks. And it's basically a step-by-step guide on how to use each feature. So if you take the time to actually read those labels and to read what it says. So this says add a to-do. To stay organized and remember everything you need to do, add your to-do list items by tapping the plus icon. So it's pretty comprehensive. Most people are going to be able to figure out how to use it regardless. But if you want to be sure you're doing it right and getting the most out of the app, just read it. And it should answer most of your questions. So, right here, you can just give it a name. So a to-do is literally one field. So it's not meant to require a lot of time to create it. It's just something that I know I got to do later today or later this week or whatever, and I don't want to forget it. So, I need to meet. Meet Jenna at startups.com. So I have a meeting at 1:00. Now I've just added that to my to-do list. Now you can see that should show up there on, view more now. So that's the button I was talking about now that there's more than 3. So 1 was already checked off. So it went to the completed list. So when you check it off, it just gets moved over here. Now, if for whatever reason I checked it off, but I realized I didn't mean to or whatever, I can just untick it. It'll go back to the main list. But for now, we've already finished this stuff. So we're going to go ahead and check it off. It went to the completed list. So let me take this off the screen here. I see we have some more streamers right now. So as you see on the screen right now, enter to win a $500 Home Depot or Lowe's gift card. Go to contractorplus.app/contest. It's free. Just sign up for the contest, share it on social media, and we appreciate you for sure. If you haven't already, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/contractorplusapp. And let me get back into the demonstration. So what happens when you're in a field service business? Where does your client start? Where does it start? Everything starts with what? It starts with a lead. So whether you get a phone call or a referral or an email or someone fills out a form on Angie's List or Contractor Plus Club or HomeU or wherever the lead comes from, doesn't really matter. That's not the point. The point is it starts with a lead. Every single job starts with a lead. So a handyman solution for field service companies wouldn't be complete without a leads dashboard because everything starts with a lead. So we built in a leads dashboard. Now, right now, we can add a lead. So it says you don't have any leads yet. This is where your leads will show up from your directory listing. You can also add leads manually by tapping the plus icon below. Now, it's important to mention here. So by default, you get a free listing at contractorplusclub.com. Now, that free listing, it's going to be indexed in all the search engines. We're going to run ads. We're going to do our best to deliver leads to your business. Now, when leads do come in, those leads are going to show up here. They're not going to show up in your email. They're not going to show up. They're not going to come straight to your phone. They're going to show up in one place and one place only, and that's in the leads dashboard. Now, in addition to that, if someone calls you on the phone, they're not a client yet, you want to add them as a lead, all you got to do is tap the plus icon here. You can add their name. So we'll add here, Jim Bob, 555-555-5555. Jim Bob at contractorplus.app. I think we have a catch-all. Just called. And 123 Main Street. Select the state. Okay. Now I can give this lead a status. So, wherever that lead's at right now in my pipeline, whether I attempted to contact him or I'm going to contact him tomorrow or I've already contacted him or I've qualified him, I can change all of that right there. Now, if I have employees, I haven't added any yet, but if I have team members, I can assign the lead to a specific team member. For now, I'm just going to just leave it assigned to myself. And he doesn't have a company name, so I'm just going to go ahead and add this lead by tapping the save button at the top right. Oh, my bad. Lead source. So this right here, I can select like where it came from. You know, is it a referral? Did it come from? I'm just going to say it came from Facebook. So I hit save. So in addition to getting the leads directly from, now this is pretty cool because this is what happens. You see that? It says you have a new lead. This is on the iPhone. It just popped up. So when you do get a new lead from the directory or from any other source, it's going to pop up on your phone. You're going to get a notification. And when you tap that notification, it says new lead received. It's going to open up inside of the Contractor Plus app. Now, you can see that lead that I just added is now listed right there as pre-qualified. It has the lead status and the lead name and all of their contact information. Now, what we're adding over the next couple of weeks, we're enhancing the leads feature. So what's going to happen is you can actually convert this lead into a client with just one tap. So if you call the lead and he said, or you go do an estimate for the lead and, you know, and he ends up hiring you, you can just say, okay, well, he's now a client. So you can just convert the lead to a client. Now he goes straight into your client manager. He's no longer in the leads dashboard. He's now a client. So, and then we're also adding a lead generation widget or a lead capture widget that you can embed on your Facebook page, on your website. You can embed it anywhere. So when anybody fills out this form anywhere on the internet, the leads are going to go straight into Contractor Plus, straight into your leads dashboard. So everything you need related to your business, especially in the early stage where, you know, you're just prospecting your leads and you're working the leads and you're doing estimates and you're turning them into clients, it's all right there in one central location. Everything you need stays organized in one place. That's the brilliance. That's really the beauty of this platform. So now you can see here on the main screen, it says 0 of 1 leads converted. Now, if we mark that lead as a customer, we convert that into a client, and then it would show 1 of 1 because we converted the lead. So currently, you know, we just launched, so we're still pending on building a lot of reports and getting really fancy with this. But eventually what we're trying to do is we're trying to add all of these comprehensive reports that provide you with insight on how you're performing as a business. And that's your KPIs or key performance indicators are how you're going to better gauge how your business is performing, how individual team members or employees in your business are performing. You know, are they meeting their time quotas on estimates? If you bid 100 hours on an estimate and they do it in 80, then they're beating their time quota. So, we can generate a fancy report that shows you, how profitable each employee is. So these things help you run your business better by being able to see how effective your team members really are. Or likewise, on the inverse of that, if you bid 100 hours and your team member takes 130, then you just lost a lot of money. So we can actually generate a P&L report that shows you how much money you're losing. And now, for a small handyman business that's just managing one job at a time, you might not need those reports. But when you start, if your goal is to scale your business, to start managing multiple clients in parallel, to start adding team members and hiring employees and growing your company, then you need to stay organized and you need this solution to really enable you to scale. So once a lead is so after a lead comes the client's dashboard. So it says you haven't added any clients. Before you can create an estimate or send an invoice, you need to add your clients. All of your clients' details are saved in this client manager. So adding the clients the same way. Now you will be able to convert a lead into a client. But for now, we'll just go ahead and type him manually here. And 5555. Let's see here. Sorry, it takes a minute. And client. Now, by default, it's going to add a billing address, and by default, the property address, which would be the first property for that client, would have the same address as the billing client. Obviously, you may service the client's home address as well. They may be a real estate investor that owns multiple properties. But even in that situation, even in that scenario, you can add multiple properties. So even in that scenario, their main address would be a property. So it takes you to the properties dashboard, as you can see. Now, in the properties dashboard, you can add additional properties. So if this person owns 10 units or 100 units or whatever, you can add all of his properties right there in one dashboard. So, we can add a second property. And it's obviously still in Orlando. Now, this is a pretty cool little feature here. So some properties have gate codes and lockbox codes, especially in the real estate world. So when you're servicing as a handyman business, a great source of leads and a great source of business is working with local property managers. Go talk to the property managers, ask them, hey, do you guys do unit turns? Do you guys have, tenant work orders? We have the capability of servicing your needs professionally and adequately. So when you do work with property managers, you're going to encounter gate codes and lock codes quite a bit. So if there is a gate code or a lock code for a specific property, you can add it in Contractor Plus. So when your team members are out in the field servicing these properties, you can actually just pull it up. When you approach the gate, you just pull it up and you see the gate codes 1, 2, 3, 4. You type in 1, 2, 3, 4. It lets you in. You get the lockbox code. You see that's 4, 3, 2, 1. You punch it in and you get the key out of the lockbox. So everything you need stored right here conveniently for you inside of Contractor Plus. So save a gate code and a lockbox code. Okay, cool. So now the property's been added. You can see that notice comes at the top. It says, now that you've added a property, you can create an estimate. So you can see here, there are a few estimate statuses. There are currently no estimates, but if I want to create the estimate, all I got to do is tap create estimate. Now there's two types of estimates. And the reason there's two types of estimates, we don't want to confuse anybody, but the estimators that exist in competing platforms like Joist or Jobber or House Call Pro or any of the other estimators that are out there, it's basically like line by line. You can call it itemized, but it really just depends on how much work you really put into it. It really depends on how much time you want to put into it. But the whole thing is like they're just not it's really not much different than just scribbling some stuff down on a contractor pad and just circling a total and handing it to your client. It's really not much different than that. So at the foundation of Contractor Plus, my goal was to create an estimating process or an estimator that just made sense, that was step by step. It was intuitive. It didn't make you have to add the line items in like an old school classic traditional way. But we realized some people are just used to doing it that way. So if you're used to doing it the way our competitors do estimates or whatever, just choose basic and it'll take you right into the basic estimator. Today, though, I don't really want to talk about the basic estimator. It's comprehensive. I mean, everybody knows what an estimate is. I want to talk about the Pro Plus estimator because this is what makes Contractor Plus special. It's one of many things, but so a Pro Plus estimate, what's so special about it is we've actually broken the estimating process down into areas, tasks, and supplies. So before you add a task, before you say that you need to fix the hole in the wall, you would add an area. So, when you go in a property, true itemization, what investors love is when you walk in the property, you start looking for things that need fixed, that need addressed immediately. So the first thing when you walk in might be the foyer, or the living room, or wherever the entrance door is. Or it might be the patio. There might be something that you might need to change a light bulb and the light outside the front door. But so the idea is you're going to add that area. Before I get into that, though, so obviously an estimate is for what? It's for a client. So it says select or add a client. First, you'll select or add the client this estimate is for. Then you'll add an area. Then you can watch the total, which totals up at the bottom, and you can add any notes. Now, there's private notes, there's client notes. So first of all, today's date would be default for the estimate date. We can set an expiration date if we want, which is by default 1 week away. So your client has a week to review the estimate and approve it or request revisions or whatever. We can always we can set that date further out in the future if we want. I just set it closer. So set it further out in the future. Okay, now I'm going to select a client. We've only added one client. Now, on the fly here, if you haven't added a client yet, you can go straight into the estimator, create a new estimate, and you can just add a client on the fly right there while you're doing an estimate. So you don't have to like go through all these steps. It can all be done right here on one screen. Okay, so I'm going to select Jim Bob. And now if we want, I can give the estimate a title. So by default, we just use the property street address and the street address 2, which is an optional field. So if it's 123 Main Street, unit number 300, then that's what the title of the estimate would be. So it would look like this. My bad. Not a good typer on cell phones. Okay, unit 300. So, and then we'd have the estimate number at the end, obviously. Now we're going to add an area. So we're just going to say here, let's try this. Now I hope all the supplies are imported. We've been importing supplies all night, running on very little sleep here. We've got close to 1 million supplies from Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, Ace Hardware, Lumber Liquidators, Sherwin-Williams, Fastenal, Granger. Did I miss any? HD Supply and Whitecap. So there's 10 different suppliers and almost 1 million supplies in total. It's just a lot, you know. It was definitely a lot to do, and we kind of pushed it for the very end. Okay, so front porch would be the first area. So now I've added an area to the estimate called front porch. You can see it right here. Now I'm going to add a task under that area. So I'll give the task a title, which would be, you know, whatever it is. I'm going to skip through these because I'm going to explain them. This is only going to, these little red bubbles are only going to show up on the first time you use the app. So after that, you won't see them anymore. So if you want to read them the first time, it's a good idea to do it, but it's really just to help people that, you know, that might have questions about how everything works. So change light bulb. I know it sounds simple, but you got to do it. Change the light bulb in fixture by door, by entry door. Okay, I'm not going to type a description. It's not needed. It's only going to take me like 15 minutes. It's actually not even going to take me that. I'm just going to say it is. That's a lot of money to change the light bulb. But okay, and then I'm going to mark. So the supply COGS markup, what that is, you can mark it up by a fixed dollar amount, or by a percentage. So whatever the light bulb costs you, we're automatically going to mark it up by 30% by default. Now you can change that. If you want to mark it up by 50%, if you want to mark it up by 100%, I don't care what you do. 30% is what we used in our business. It worked well. We built at $75 an hour for the labor, and we marked up all of our supplies by 30%. And I don't think we ever lost a single bid. We never lost a bid. So pretty cool. Now I'm going to take a picture. Now, forgive me here. I don't have a picture of an entry door, but I have a picture of a light. So I'll just take a picture of this light right here, and I can attach this as my before picture. So now you would attach a picture of the fixture without a light bulb in it, or without the bulb working. Obviously, that would be your before photo. And now you can search for supplies. So light bulb. Now, I hope light bulbs are imported. If they're not, they will be soon. Okay. That's okay. 10 watt, 100 watt. There we go. I'm just going to select this bulb right here. There's all kinds of bulbs imported. And you can get more specific. If you're looking for a specific type of light bulb, you know, you can type the specific wattage or the specific whatever this anything in the title, you'll be able to find that. You can change the quantity. You can add more than one supply. You can pretty much do anything. Now, you can choose how you want to add taxes. Do you want to add taxes to supplies? Do you want to add taxes to the labor? Do you want to add taxes to both? You get to choose the tax. Currently, there's no tax rate added. We're paying a tax, so I'm going to add a tax. And I'm just going to select the default sales tax rate, 7.5%. And now that's going to automatically add the tax rate, and it's going to bring the cost to replace this light bulb to $33.71. That might be a bit steep, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Now, if you want to add any private notes internal that your client will not see about this specific task, you can do it right here. We don't need to do that, so I'm just going to hit save. Now, I've added the first task in the first area. So now when you walk inside the front door, you notice in the living room, well, first of all, my bad. I apologize. I want to add an area. Add an area. Living room. So now I've added an area called living room. Now I can add the task fix hole in wall by hallway. So now I'm going to say it's going to take an hour, and I don't have a picture of a hole in the wall, but I got a picture of something that has a hole in it. So I'll just take a picture of that. Let's see here. There's our hole in the wall. There we go. So now we're going to add the supplies. So we might need some quick fix. We're going to need a drywall patch. I mean, if we want to cheat, right? Or we could just get some sheetrock. Well, that's not what I was looking for. I have to be more specific here. Drywall patch. If a supply doesn't show up yet, forgive me. We're still importing supplies, so bear with me. If a supply ever doesn't show up for whatever reason, you can always add your own supply on the, so I don't see a drywall patch. So I'm just going to call it drywall patch. And I'm going to say it costs $10 before markup. So I went ahead and added a drywall patch. Now there won't be a picture of it, obviously, but now it's going to automatically apply our markup. So you can see it's $10. It applied our 30% markup, which brought it to $13. So now, if I want to add a tax, I can, which I do. Now, you can change in the settings and in your tax settings. You can make it so that instead of adding a tax on a per task basis, you can have it set to only add your tax to the estimate. So you don't actually have to select a tax for every single task. You can just add your tax to the estimate total at the bottom, which makes more sense, I would think, for most applications. The goal, in my opinion, would be to streamline the estimating process as much as possible, and then just worry about the tax at the end. So we're going to save this. Now, for time's sake, you can see here we've got two areas now. So we've got the front porch and we've got the living room, and we've got two tasks. And our estimate total. Now you can apply a discount here if you want to give your customer a discount. Say they're a veteran and you want to give them 10% off. You just put 10% right there, and it'll automatically discount. It'll automatically discount the bid by 10%, which took off $12.83. Now, if you want to add any notes for your client, you can just say here, thanks for the opportunity to earn your business. If you have any terms and conditions, if you have any notes that you want to keep private for your team only, you can add them right here. We don't. So I'm just going to hit save. Now that this estimate is saved, now you get to send it to your client. Now, we haven't done our setup yet, so I went right into the estimating. I didn't add a logo. We didn't do anything that would really make this estimate stand out and make it professional. So before we do anything else, we should probably get that in good shape. So, but just so you can see what it looks like, let me get through these coach marks here. So there's a few actions. So you can say your estimate, say your client's standing right there with you, right there as you're doing the estimate. You don't need to email it to them necessarily. You don't need to go through all those steps. You can just say, well, here's the total. What do you think? And they can say, okay, I approve it. So they approve it. You just mark it as approved, and you can automatically generate the invoice you see right here. And once the invoice is generated, then you send the invoice to the client. They can open it up on their phone and add their payment information and remit the payment. So, or you can just download the estimate there. But let's, before we do that, if you are sending an email, we've already got pre-configured templates to save you time. So when you go to send this estimate, It's going to say new estimate for the street address name. And then you can add carbon copies. So if you want to copy somebody, say that Jim Bob's wife wants a copy in her email, you can add her email there on the fly. And the PDF file is automatically attached to the estimate, as well as a link to the estimate that they can open in their web browser. So it says, hey, Jim Bob, attached is a new estimate for 321 Edgewater Drive. The job is estimated to take 1.25 hours, which brings the labor total to $100.79. The supply total comes to $27.53. The taxes come to $8.95. The grand total for your estimate is $128.32. Now, it didn't account for the discount. So when he opens that estimate up, he's going to see his discount. Now, we can probably add a line for discounts if discounts exist. There's automatically a signature applied, which you can change based on you can go into the settings and change this so it automatically apply your own signature to all of the emails. There's just so much that you can do with this. So when I send this, let me carbon copy this just so I can open this up. And I've added this, and now I'm going to send this estimate. So now when this goes through, now just so it sent successfully. Just keep in mind there's not currently any logo added or anything. So before we do anything else, I want to go into the settings of the app and how you can get set up to really work for you. Before you do anything, before you create estimates, before you add clients, before you actually start using Contractor Plus, you should go through the settings, add your logo, add your business information, claim your directory listing, do all of the due diligence, get all of that out of the way as early as possible. So to do that, we're going to go to the main menu. We're going to scroll down. We're going to hit settings. Now, when the settings dashboard loads, so the first thing you're going to do is go into my profile, and you're going to add your own stuff. So, you want to add a picture of yourself. You go into my account. You can change the photo right here. You can select the photo. You can pretty much, that's not a picture of me, but I like it. So I'll just make that my photo. And you can change your business name. You can edit your phone number. That's not my real phone number, so don't bother calling it. But you can see you can configure everything right here. Now I hit save. Now I've got a picture of something. Oh, we got a problem. Let me take a screenshot of that. And let me report that real fast to our dev team. Sorry, anytime a bug like this comes up, they're bound to happen. I just add it to a Trello card for Android. After saving, profile information went to web error. Now I didn't have this error earlier, so it's probably due to porting over the files is my guess. Let me hit save again, see if I get the error again. It's saved, so we should be good. Okay. Let me see if it took. Yep, it took. We're good. Cool. So now that I've configured my account, now we're going to go down and wait, is this the only thing right here? Let's see here. Go back out of my profile. Now we can start configuring the company details. Now, before I get into the company details, I want to talk a little bit about the rewards. So we've put in a reward system. So anytime an action gets completed, you earn points, or coins we call them. So these coins can actually be cashed in on an individual level or a company level for gift cards. So after you've used the app for so long, you're earning coins the whole time. You can exchange these coins for a Home Depot or Lowe's gift card or Ace Hardware, whatever you really want. You can also exchange them for the Bluetooth tool tags for the tool tag feature. You can exchange it for Contractor Plus merch, for account credits, you name it. We're going to add all kinds of rewards. You just go to redeem at the bottom and then select your reward. You can see that we already got a lead. So when you get a new lead, you get 50 coins. So the 50 reward coins can be used to cash in for a gift card at a later date. Let's see here. Okay, I just got the email new estimate. Now, before I share this, because I don't think the logo is added, I do want to show you what it looks like when you get this email. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let me move this screen here. And let me just share my entire screen, momentarily at least. And I want to show you what this email looks like. So this right here is the email that came through. So if you have your logo added, it's automatic. I didn't add one, so it's just going to put your business name here. If you add your logo, it's going to put your logo here. And it says Powered by Contractor Plus. And then it says, hi, Jim Bob. And here's basically the same email that you saw inside the app before we sent it is right here. So, you know, now there's an estimate attached. So if you want to open the estimate. Now, when we sent this, I didn't have my picture added. Now that picture that I selected would show as my picture. So you want to pick a good headshot photo of yourself and you want to add it there. So whoever does your estimate, it's going to put their name on the estimate. So whoever you appoint to do your estimating, they have a personal connection with that client now. So now when the client gets a PDF file in their email with that person's name on it, now it makes a big difference. See, it makes a huge difference. There's a couple things here that I need to check with the dev team on. I'm not sure why it has my name, Justin Smith, 3 times. It should have my business name, not my personal name. So I'm going to look into that. We'll get that fixed. And you can see here, here's the 2 tasks that I added. Front porch, change light bulb and fixture by entry door. Now, sorry, they're bad pictures, but it shows the before pictures. And then it shows all the breakdown for the labor tax, supplies, supply tax, supply total. So pretty cool. And then the discount applies at the bottom. Now, your client can approve the estimate right here inside this file. They can approve the estimate, they can request changes, or they can refuse the estimate or decline the estimate. Now, let's just say that they approve it. So your client approves this estimate. Now, once the estimate is approved, it takes them to this page right here, and they have accepted the estimate. And they're just going to confirm. Jim Bob at Contract. And they can sign right here. They hit sign. Now their signature's on. They have approved the estimate. It's been approved. Thank you for accepting the estimate. Now you're going to get an app. Let me switch back over here into Chrome. Have I not been sharing the screen the whole time? Wow. I'm sorry, guys. So switch back over here into Chrome, and I want to show you. I just got a notification from Contractor Plus on the iPhone here. It says that Jim Bob has opened the estimate, and now I'm going to get 3 more notifications. Jim Bob has opened their estimate, and so it says Jim Bob has opened the estimate 3 times, but it doesn't say that he approved the estimate. So that's something else that I need to look into. Let me take a screenshot of this and report this. So, you know, we're still obviously panning out a few of the small details here, but this is all minor stuff. Select board. Okay, sent. Okay, so now we're going to get back into, let me share the A-Power monitor, A-Power mirror, my bad. So now we're back here looking at the Android screen. And so your company details, you can add your company logo. So now we have a light logo and a dark logo. Now we're going to be removing this, so it's just one logo that you upload. It's a little confusing for some people, but basically, like in some places, your logo may display on a light background or it may display on a dark background. So you want to upload a version that's compatible with both. Now, if your logo is by default compatible with both, just upload it to both places, the same logo. But if it's not, you may want to modify the font colors or whatever so that one displays better than the other. But ultimately, we're going to make it so that your logo is going to display on the same type of background throughout everywhere. So you only have to upload one logo, which makes a lot more sense. You can add your company name here, add your address, your contact information. So, when this information is all filled out, then when you send that estimate, it's not going to say your name in all 3 locations. It's going to have your business information. And you can add all of your contact information, fill all of that in. If you have a number for your business, you can add that there. Once it's updated, you hit save. Now, one of the most important things about Contractor Plus app is being able to add all of your employees or your team members. So, by default, you only have yourself. Now, if you're a free user, you can't add team members. You can only use the app by yourself. But when you upgrade to Pro, then you can add up to 3 team members. And then when you upgrade to Corporate, you can add up to 10. And if you upgrade to Ultimate, then you can add up to 30. And then if you need an enterprise level solution for more than 30 employees, then you can reach out to us and we can create a plan just for you. While I'm at it, I want to mention this again. If you didn't see this earlier, right now we have a contest. It's a launch contest. We're giving away 2 $500 gift cards. You get to pick Home Depot or Lowe's. Go to contractorplus.app and contractorplus.app/contest. No purchase necessary to enter. Just go there and enter the contest right now. Contractorplus.app/contest. So now we're going to get into adding team members. So now I'm going to add my buddy Fred. And I'll send Fred a welcome email. Not going to save that. Cool. Now I just added Fred. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because it's not just as simple as, it can be, but as adding a team member. It gets fairly complex. When you're managing 30 employees, you are going to want to control the level of access that each individual employee has. So some employees you're going to want to be able to add clients, edit clients, delete clients, to add leads, to delete leads. Currently, the leads in the client settings are grouped into one under clients. We'll probably separate that. But the idea is that you want to control who can do what inside the app. That way you don't log in one day and just see a bunch of stuff that's crazy and out of order. So if I don't want Fred here to be able to delete, then by default he can't delete. But if I do want to give him the permission to delete, I can just check delete. Now he can delete clients. By default, he can do anything except delete. So we're probably just going to leave it like that. But if there's anything I don't want him to do, like if I don't want him to be able to view the global, he can view his own, but he can't view the global time log, then I can just uncheck that. If I don't want him to receive notifications when we get a payment, if I don't want him to be able to edit payments or even create payments, I don't even want him to be able to view the payments. I don't want him to see nothing with my financial stuff. I can put it there. And same thing, if I don't want him to see expenses, I only want him to be able to create expenses. Actually, he can view his own and he can create, but he cannot edit, delete, or receive notifications related to expenses. And I don't want him to do any post inspections. That's not for him. That's for me. So now I just hit submit. Email already exists. Okay, I'll check that out. It may just be using the same submit form there. Okay, so we're probably good. It probably took this. Yeah, it saved the settings regardless. So we're good. So now Fred is added as a team member. Now, when Fred gets that email, he can sign up, log in the app. He can add his profile photo. Now, if Fred sends an estimate to your customer, it's going to have your business logo, your business name. It's going to have his name and his picture. So it's very professional. And you can add up to 3 team members in Pro. Now, you're going to want to configure your social links. So whatever the links are to your Facebook, to your Google, to your Instagram, to your website, you want to add it there because those are going to go in the footer of your email if they're configured. If you have any licensing, if you have any licenses, bonds, insurance information, whatever that you want to attach for your client's reference, you can add it here. And finance settings. So you can add pre-configured tax rates. You can add expense categories. We have quite a few by default, you can see here. If you want to add your own or move them around however you see best fit, you can do that. And then payment methods. So this is where you can enable certain payment methods or add your own. Now, if you want to accept payments via credit card directly from your invoices, you still need to configure and link your payment gateways by going to Settings, Finance, Payment Gateway. So we'll get into that next. By default, these are the payment methods that are offered. You can uncheck any that you do not want to accept. And so, this basically just lets your customers know the ways that you're willing to accept payments. Now, once that's configured, you want to go into your payment gateways. So this is how you're going to link it with your own credit card solution provider and to actually accept payments via credit card right from your invoices. So where the other solutions force you to use their payment solution, we've integrated with quite a few here, and we're integrating with even more. We're gonna make it possible for you to pay with PayPal. We're gonna make it possible for you to accept payments with authorize.net. So PayPal, regular PayPal, like PayPal standard, just email to email, and also the credit card, PayPal Website Payments Pro, and of course Stripe. We're currently working on, WePay, Coinbase, coin payments for Bitcoin and crypto. It's all the rage right now, so why not? We are adding Square. We're adding quite a few more. So we're the only solution that gives you the option to really use your own payment gateways. And if you need help finding your client ID, your API key, whatever's required, we have a document right here. You just tap this link and read the instructions on the screen, and it walks you through how to find what we want you to add there. And then once you've added it, you just hit update settings. Now, once that's added, your clients can pay with credit card right from their invoices, and it goes straight to your bank account. And we have nothing to do with that. All we do is connect you and your payment facilitator and your clients together in one place. Pretty cool. So if you want to change any settings related to your leads, if you want to validate the leads based on their phone or their email, you can select all of those settings there. You can add lead sources. You can delete lead sources if you don't get leads from certain sources. And you can also edit and manage your lead statuses. So all of that can be done there. And then, of course, suppliers. So as you can see, we're missing the logo for Lowe's. We'll get that added. But as you can see, we're still adding a couple, like Sherwin-Williams and a couple other suppliers are still being added right now. These are the suppliers that you can select. Now, as a pro member, I can actually pull sources from up to 3 suppliers. If I try to pull from any more than 3, it's going to give me an error and say that I need to upgrade. If I upgrade to corporate, then obviously I can select more than 3. So you can only pull supplies from up to 3 suppliers at a time as a pro user. As a basic or free user, you can only pull supplies from 1 supplier at a time. So if you want to find the best supply price, regardless of whether it's Lowe's or Home Depot, like if you're doing a big job, half your supplies may be cheaper at Home Depot, half of them may be cheaper at Lowe's. It makes sense to pull supplies from 2 different places, generate 2 different shopping lists, 1 for each store, and go get your supplies at each store to save money. And just, pass some of that savings on to your client. Now, here's a really cool thing that the other platforms don't let you do. Custom email settings. So if you want your reports to come from your email address, that means whatever your website is .com, your name at yourwebsite.com, instead of at Contractor Plus. By default, they come from reports at contractorplus.app. But if you want to use your own, then you can just enable it right here, and you can connect it via SMTP to your email account, whether that's a Gmail account or whether that's your own domain or whatever. The bottom line is we will use your email address to send those estimates and invoices and post inspections directly to your client. So with that way, it cuts Contractor Plus completely out of the picture. When your clients respond to that email, you're going to get their message right in your inbox, so you can have a more personalized line of communication with your client. So it's a really cool feature. You probably do want to configure a custom email account. By default, it's not configured. My bad. Notification popped up there. And but it's really powerful, because now we give you the ability to brand your brand your emails and your reports totally with your business identity. So your logo, your name, your headshot photo, your email address, it all comes from you. And that's the way it should be. Like in the beginning, when you're just meeting a client, you're just meeting a prospect, someone that, a lead, first impressions are everything. So when you take the time to actually put together a comprehensive report that just makes sense and like really impresses them, like it's totally itemized, it has photos, it's super clean, it has your picture on it, it has your logo on it, everything's super professional. What that does is it builds trust. So these people, like, they see you they trust you. I mean, right from the get-go, right from the jump, they see you as somebody that they can trust, and you're going to earn their business. It's as simple as that. People want to do business with someone that they can trust. And especially, like, a lot of contractors just have a bad rep. Like, they start a job, they don't finish it, they don't clean up after themselves, they leave a mess behind. They drank on the job. I mean, a lot. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I've been around long enough I've experienced a little bit of everything. And people don't want to run into problems. They want to do business with someone that's going to do the job right and is going to be accountable to them. And when you meet the client and you start off on a positive note, and it all starts with a professional estimate that's like, wow, I wasn't expecting this. You've already won their heart. Now, it doesn't matter if someone comes along that's cheaper. It might in some cases, but usually it doesn't, because they're going to give you the job because they trust you. So let me get back into this. And these are the email templates. So that email that we just sent, that you just saw, that estimate. So there's email templates that we've already pre-written and pre-configured. They have variables in it that you can change for estimates, post-inspection, shopping lists, invoices, tasks, staff members, and leads. So, by default, if you want to edit, now there's multiple emails depending on what's happening, like the status changes, an estimate is accepted or declined or whatever. There's all kinds of scenarios here. But this was the one that you saw earlier, and this is the default right here. So wait a minute, estimate sent to customer. You view the estimate on the following. That does not look like already sent to customer. Oh, Pro Plus. Okay, well, an estimate and a Pro Plus estimate are different, like I mentioned. So that was the basic email. The Pro Plus estimate email to customer and the basic should really just be one message, because it's the same thing. It's no different. But this is the email that you saw earlier. So you can see all the variables here. Everything in brackets is variables. So that's going to plug in the total hours. Now, if you want to customize this, we've actually put the merge fields or the variables down here for you to edit. So you can see these are all the variables that you have available to you, and you can actually plug those into the email wherever you see best fit. So you can totally customize your default message. But what it does is it makes it so you don't actually have to physically type the email when you're ready to send an estimate or an invoice or a post inspection to a client. You've already got a template that you use, and it looks personalized. So it doesn't require much customization. Now, I probably I would just refer to people by their first name. So I would remove the last name right there. And oops, let me add that bracket back. If I can find it here. There we go. And I'm just going to save that. So, that looks a little bit better, in my opinion. So now I can go back here, and the last thing that we can configure here is the PDF design. So we have a couple different options. I have to attach the photos of the actual design here instead of this. So I'm going to get that replaced so you can actually see what the options are. So I'm going to do that right after we get off this live stream. I'll have that updated. This is all web stuff, so it's not dependent on a future app release. We can just do it from the website. But so there's two different options. There's like a light option and a dark option currently for estimates, the Pro Plus estimates, invoices, post inspections, and shopping lists. And so you can choose which one you want to use for each of those. In the future, we're going to have like a collar selector. We're going to make it a lot more sophisticated. Like you can completely co-brand it. You want your own collar scheme, whatever. You can change it to totally match the look and feel of your business, which is pretty powerful stuff. So this is the gist of, of the settings. Before you start using the app, I advise you to go into the settings, add your logo, add your team members, add your photo, ask your team members or your employees to add their photos. Try to add your business information, try to make it as comprehensive and as set up as possible. And then the next step before you start doing anything else would obviously be to claim your free directory listing. So chances are, if you're finding out about Contractor Plus right now, it's because I sent you an email telling you about about your free directory listing. So you're one of the 800,000 plus contractors that I'm reaching out to over the next 60 days to give a free listing. So I've already created a listing for you at contractorplusclub.com, which is similar to like HomeU or Angie's List. And that listing is going to get you some exposure and get you some free leads. So now by claiming that listing, you'll start getting leads inside of Contractor Plus in your leads dashboard. And we made it very simple to claim the listing right here. So, we explain the benefits of and the reasons to claim it and all of that. You can read some testimonials here of what people, of the benefits that other people see in claiming your listing and using Contractor Plus. But you just hit the button at the bottom to start searching. Now, if you want to search for your business here, you just type your business name in and you'll start the search. And it's just going to pull up a list. Now, if your logo is there, it's going to load. We're still importing the logos. Keep in mind, guys, we just ported everything to the live server today, and there's a lot of data, so it's taking time. I'm sorry that some of this stuff isn't loading. It will be loading here soon. The ones that appear broken right now is because we actually have their logo on file, and it hasn't ported to the live server yet. So if you find your business here, though, you're going to hit Claim Business. If your business is listed, that means that we've already got your listing added on contractorplusclub.com, and you just select your listing. Now, once you select it, we're going to verify that you actually own that listing. We're going to verify the phone number or the email address on file. Once it's verified, then you can edit that listing. You now own that listing. If you can't find your business, if your business isn't listed for whatever reason, you can just hit Add New Business. So we take you through a few step process. You add your business name, your email address, your phone number. Then we're going to verify your phone number, email address. Then you can add your logo and your business details and a lot of the stuff that you did in the settings already to build that profile. Once that profile is built, then you'll have a listing on contractorplus.com or contractorplusclub.com. I'm sorry. Now, once your listing is live, you'll start getting leads. So if your listing isn't already added, you can just add it yourself. And I think we're at a pretty good stopping point. I mean, I could talk all day. This app does so much. So, in addition to, we really only covered estimating and settings and manage team. Tomorrow we'll get into invoices. We'll get into post inspections, hopefully. So we'll go ahead and complete the estimate. We'll just assume that the work was completed, and we'll complete a post inspection and send the report to the client, showing that the work was done. Before I go, I mentioned it earlier, but if if you're just now watching the stream, we have a launch contest going on. So enter to win a $500 Home Depot or Lowe's gift card. You get to choose whether you shop at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's up to you. I know it's not a lot of money, but it's $500. Who couldn't use an extra $500 at Home Depot or Lowe's right now? So Contractor Plus app, contractorplus.app/contest. Once again, it's contractorplus.app/contest, and there's no purchase necessary to enter to win. So please go do that. Sign up for that contest. Now, as I said, a lot of these features are still in development. So we have a development roadmap right here. Now we got to update the dates on this right here. This isn't accurate, but these are all of the features that are coming soon. So when you download the app and you get in there, you can read about everything we're working on, like QuickBooks Sync. That's coming in a couple weeks with the tool library. That's our top priority right now. And then we're also going to add FreshBooks. You know, our competitors, they offer QuickBooks Sync, which we offer, but they don't offer FreshBooks, Xero. There's a whole host of accounting softwares out there with potential integrations that, you know, that they probably should be offering. And so you know, I believe that we should, you know, accommodate people that don't want to use QuickBooks as well. So we're going to be looking into that as well. Lastly, I want to talk about, you know, upgrading to Pro. I just put it on the screen right there. So right now, you know, the main benefit of upgrading to Pro is being able to add your employees, your team members. But obviously, here, let me switch back over here. So you can see here, we have a couple different plans. We have a few different plans when you go to upgrade your account. So it all starts with basic. And the thing is, you know, if you want to add your team members, if you want to unlock certain features like the time clock, we need to get into that tomorrow too, probably, if we have time. The mileage log, once it's implemented, the tool library, that's going to be a Pro feature. So there's a lot of things that will come from upgrading. But the reason is because, you know, obviously we have bills to pay. We have 8 full-time employees. We have multiple subcontractors. We have 3 offices. We have, you know, we have a lot of overhead, and it's taken us a long time. Honestly, it's a miracle. Like, you know, honestly, like 6 months ago when things weren't going right, I just put it in God's hands. And I said, you know what, if it's meant to be, it's going to be. I got to be patient. I got to keep working and doing my best with what I've got, with where I'm at. And I just got to trust the process, and I got to trust my partners, and I got to trust my team. And if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. And it did happen. It's happened. We're launched. You know, there's some small bugs and some small issues that we're sorting out. If you notice anything that needs sorted out, then by all means, please go to support.contractorplus.app, create a support ticket, tell us about it. We'll get it fixed right away. We have a full team in-house to support this product and to make sure that your needs are adequately met. So, you know, you can select the plan right here. The professional plan gives you up to 3 team members. You can add your custom SMTP. You can use the expense tracking. You can use the time clock. You know, and then you can upgrade to corporate. You can add up to 10 team members. You get more payment methods, more suppliers, so you can select even more than 3 suppliers. And then the ultimate plan, $59 a month, you can add up to 30 team members. So, you know, it is helping you. And as we add these new features, like every 2 weeks, we're releasing a new version. Every version is going to have some bug fixes, minor enhancements, and new features. So we're dedicated to continually finishing and growing this app into something totally awesome. And if you have ideas for something that could make this app work better for your business, then again, go to Contractor Plus. You can just send us an email, actually, hello@contractorplus.app. And we're friendly. We don't bite. Like, we look forward to meeting you. And we want to make this work for you. Like, understand that where the other platforms force you to use what they've got, that's not our goal. That's not our intention here. Our goal is to build something that you actually love using, something that actually makes your life easier. And if we're not adding value to your life, then by all means, don't use the app. But I believe it does, and I believe it will, and I believe it'll continue we're going to continue to get better at doing that. So if you can, you know, if you're watching this, if you see the need, if you think it's going to help your business, if you believe that it adds value, if you can, grab a Pro account, even if it's just it's $14 a month to month, but it's actually $9 a month. if you pay annually. So if you prepay annually, you save money. So, it's consider upgrading to Pro because it's supporting our development team. It's helping us make the app even more awesome. And we're going to give you premium support for being a pro member. And we really value having you on board with us, whether you're a free member or a pro member. But we do need the customer base. We need pro subscribers to support development. So we need you. And if you see the value that this brings to your business, I ask you, please consider upgrade to Pro. It's $9 a month, prepaid annually, and it helps us tremendously. While we're waiting on working with investors and getting the capital we need to really grow this bad boy, that helps us continue paving the road out in front of us to get there. So thank you for your consideration with that. And are we at a good stopping point? I think we probably are. We're probably at a good stopping point for the day. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I know there weren't a whole lot of people here. We're going to restream it tonight at 7 o'clock. Didn't go as smoothly as maybe I would have hoped. Ian got disconnected early. I know he had a bunch of questions he wanted to ask me. Maybe I can get him back on with me in the morning. But I look forward to meeting you guys. Let me check the chat here. I don't know if all the chats are coming. I'm not getting any messages in the restream dashboard. I need to make sure everything's linked up properly. But either way, if you have any questions, hello@contractorplus.app or support@contractorplus.app. If you need anything from me or from our team, or you have any feature suggestions, or you have any questions at all, don't be a stranger. Reach out. And I really look forward to having the opportunity to serve you and your business moving forward. So thanks for joining me today. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern.